Hey guys, Robin Rosado here. So today I want to talk to you about your right elbow, what it's doing on our downswing and how it's going to actually help us shallow out that club early in our downswing where we really want to shallow out the club. So a lot of people I see when we're talking about shallowing out, and actually I'm struggling with it myself, is sometimes we get too steep on the way down. Our initial movement on our first move on our downswing gets too steep, and then sometimes we shallow out that club late. So I want to talk about like a good feeling with our right elbow mainly to shallow out that club early on a downswing. So let's talk about what's going on with what our arms are doing and what our right elbow is doing, and kind of what shallowing out the club and lag is kind of coming on our downswing. So why don't you go ahead and try to take your club right straight out in front of you. Let's get out to the side here, and then what we're going to do is then have that club head match our forearm here, so bending, so it's going to mimic what lag and shallowing is on our downswing. So if I just bend forward here, if I just get here, you'll notice that that's kind of exactly where we want to be on our downswing as far as shallowing out that club and then coming into the ball. So as far as our right elbow, now one thing I want to point out to you is that I see it, like a lot of people think the top of her swing. I remember when I was a kid that I had a pro that always taught me I want to have my right elbow tucked, feel like I'm holding in tray at the top of my golf swing. So it kind of put me in an unnatural position. And in general, my shoulders aren't even that flexible enough to really kind of get fully to that position. I can get pretty good, but nothing crazy. So he always mentioned, oh, I needed to get at the top of my swing and feel like that right elbow was pointing down at the top. But that's actually not really the case, because you look at most of the pros out there, that right elbow isn't really kind of tucked. Sometimes it's maybe even flared. Look at Jack Nicklaus from back in the day, his elbow is way flared. Even Brooks Koepka, who just won the US Open, I mean, his elbow is just a little bit pointed out a little bit. But the one thing they have in common is that right elbow is actually going to, on their downswing, is going to point down at the ground. So if we take it to the top of the swing and we start our downswing, you're going to feel that right elbow almost like it's starting to point. So right now, maybe it's pointing slightly out behind me. I'm going to feel out pointing slightly more down at the ground. And you can see what it's doing to my club. As it comes down, my club is actually going to want to shallow out early. So that's the main thing, is we want that club to start shallowing out that club early. So I'm really feeling that my right elbow starting to point down to the ground, kind of feeling it's tucking into my right rib cage here. And as I start my downswing, so my hips are starting to rotate. So in general, right through impact, I want to be about 45 degrees open. You can see my right elbow is here, kind of running the inseam of my shirt, feeling like it's right on my right rib cage. So again, just to feel like we're kind of to shallow out that club early, feel that right elbow as we start your downswing. We start on our weight transfer. That right elbow is going to kind of feel like it's a straight point right at the ground, kind of going into my right rib cage. You can see it's shallowing out that club really early in the downswing. All right, guys, so good luck working on that. Try to really feel that right elbow point down to the ground instead of flaring out on the downswing. Again, not so much important at the top of the swing. Really feel it pointing down. Then feel like going into your right rib cage, then onto impact. I'm going to hit one here for you guys to see if I can do what I preach here and feel my right elbow really tuck into my side. Hey guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video talking about shallowing out the club. So now we're going to talk about what's coming next. How are we going to get that club face to square up? Because if you shallow out that club, you don't want to leave the club face open. So the preview video is about the show. It's 1.3 in our top speed golf system, the move section, talking about the tennis racket drill and how to really square that club face after shallowing out that club. So go ahead and click on the iCard there that you see on the screen. It's going to play that preview. So if you click on the iCard, it's going to play the full version, take you to the website, and on there you get access to 5 free bonus videos as well. So go ahead and click on that, check it out, work on that second part after you shallow out that club early in the downswing. All right, guys, so good luck, have fun out there as always, and play well.
Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is, instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it, the flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be rotating